Welcome to another driving test commentary. This test was done on the 16th, which is a Monday. It was about 2:22 test, and it was done at Mitcham Test Centre, which is the new Mitcham Hilton Hotel in Purley Way. Um, and this was his first attempt. Um, with one of the examiners at Mitcham. I do like Mitcham. The examiners are very friendly, professional, and the route in Mitcham is, in my opinion, very easy. No major roundabouts, dealing with mini roundabouts. And one of the things that I choose to do is mainly face my car um, going towards the traffic and not opposite on the other side. Um, it's not guaranteed. If they want, they can go ahead and turn the car around and face the other way. But generally speaking, I find that they do just tend to go straight ahead um, and just follow the flow of the traffic. So as I've said in previous videos, what you want to make sure that when you're coming out of this road is very sporadic. 1 minute is empty. Within a minute or two, it's very busy. There's lorries and so forth that come through. So make sure that you are doing your POM routine. So check all your blind spots, get the car ready, check all your blind spots, give a signal where necessary, look over your blind spot again, and gently move off. Other times I've seen it's so busy that you can't even come out, and it takes a good 2-3 minutes just to move off. They were using the sat nav on this test, so anybody that knows about the test will tell you that 75% of students will use the sat nav and 25% will be following road signs. So he started off moving off here, and it was a good moving off. The traffic is light. Um, there was one car here to meet, or two cars, as you can see. Soon as, or three, I didn't see the other one, it seems. And then soon as, like here, he looks for a chance. There is a bike here, and he is using the he's seeing the ambulance and decided that, okay, you know what, I'm going to hold back, which is absolutely fine. Look for a safe gap, and when you see it, check your mirrors and move off. Like in previous videos, you will see that here the sat nav will say follow the road ahead, bear right, which generally tends to mean that the road curves to the right, but you should stay on your side of the road and follow the road round towards the right. It's a 20 miles an hour road, and this road, you can turn left coming up, or you can follow the road ahead. Obviously, the sat nav chose to go and follow the road ahead. At the end of this road, you're actually going to come up to a roundabout. It's a mini roundabout, and the sat nav will say turn right. I think it says third exit, and usually the examiner will correct the sat nav and say take the second exit. Problem here is the sat nav thinks that there is three exits when it's actually it's three exits, and the sat nav actually thinks the second exit is the third exit because it counts an entrance to another building as an exit. So far he's driving well, doing meeting situation. The speed is appropriate. He's going at a pace in which he can slow down and make progress. As he comes to this roundabout, he's obviously going to be turning right, and it's going to be the second exit. At this time of the day, so about 2:30, the traffic's not too bad. On the way back, there will be more traffic as he goes through the route of where they're going. So, he's already given a right signal. He's looking for a safe gap. As soon as he finds the gap, he's going to start obviously making progress. He's looking to the right. There's no cars coming. The left has to give him way. And he goes to the correct exit. And obviously this road is a 20. All of these sides, a lot of these roads are 20. Some of them will have repeater signs, so always look out for the sign to make sure that you are driving appropriately. Some people have actually failed for driving too slow because they've actually been traveling at 20 miles an hour every single road. So in my lessons, I make sure that I tell my students to keep on looking out for road signs. And remember what the highway code says, that if after looking for, that was, sorry, just going back to what he did there, the examiner said to him, can you please turn on your um, front wipers to do some water, and which he's done. So as I was saying, the if you don't see any signs, then you assume it's a 30 miles an hour because of the highway code rule, that if you see no sign and you see street lights, then you assume it's a 30. So here the examiner has told the student to turn left at the end. Now there's the 30 sign. So sign is there. After that 30 sign, you're not going to see another sign for a while. So make sure that you don't miss those signs. Here, it's fairly busy, so make sure when you get to the end, you see a chance, which he did, and he's taken it. It is a zebra crossing, and it is the one with the island, so make sure you understand the various types. Now, as you can see on the left, there is a bus lane. Now, he's gone through here, and he's in the correct lane. Now, just bear that in mind. I'm not going to tell you just yet why that is of significance. So you keep watching it until the end, and you'll see that on the way back, he's also coming through the same route, but just from a different angle. And, you know, that left lane is significant then. So here, the examiner has said to him to turn right when it's safe to do so. So the road in which he's turning, it is a one-way road. So when you do find the safe gap, you're going to obviously take the turn and position your car in the middle of the road, because it is a one-way road. One of the tips I give my students is, when you're not sure whether a road is a one-way or two-way, look at where all the cars are parked, and if they're all facing the same way, then you know that you are on a one-way road. As you can see, on both sides, the cars are obviously facing the same way. Now, at the end of this road, the examiner or the sat nav says end of the road, turn left. Now remember here, specifically, when you're turning left, make sure you're positioned a bit more to the right. He did get away with it here because that day there is road work. So when he comes out, obviously it's not as hard because the other side will be red when his side, as he's just come out. And it's okay because he didn't mount the curb. But by the time you do your test, that roadworks could have been finished. So make sure that you are coming out slowly using clutch control. As he goes through here, he is approaching a roundabout, and at the roundabout, he's going to be turning right, third exit. It is a mini roundabout, so make sure that you do put a right signal and you look to your right. If the right is empty, then you can obviously enter. So obviously we can't see what the right is, whether there is traffic, but I know he hasn't failed here, so he's done this bit correctly. There goes the car. So I think he was waiting for that car. And then as he moves along here, he's going to be looking for a safe gap, go around the roundabout, make sure you look to your left, and then you don't need to give a left signal here because it's a mini roundabout and there's only one right turn. You're okay to go. If you do give a signal and it's safe and your steering is not affected, then that is okay. It's not a problem. But as I said, on a mini roundabout, you don't actually have to give a left signal to leave. So he stopped correctly. It was a pedestrian crossing, most likely a puffin crossing. Yep, so there's no flashing amber light here. So it's a puffin crossing, and he's making progress. This road is a 30 miles an hour road. The sat nav will tell him in a minute to take the first road on the left, and it is quite a sharp road. So if you feel that you can't do it in second gear, by all means do it in first gear, but obviously you've got to keep your car tight, follow the curb line. He's gone into first gear. He did go over here, even though there was a pedestrian coming. The examiner did not mark him down for that, because he made enough progress, which is fine. If the pedestrians were quicker, then he would have to wait and give them way. So he's obviously making progress. He already knows that this road is a 30 miles an hour road. We have practiced this road many times, and obviously you can see in his confidence of drive that he knows where he's going and he knows what to do. This is the South Croydon route that goes through the back of the flyover, um, and he doesn't actually go all the way to the flyover. So here at the roundabout, the sat nav said turn right. It's a mini roundabout, and on the right can be quite blind. So, and you're on a hill, so obviously make sure you're using your peep and creep technique. So using clutch control, edging forward, looking to the right. If the right is clear, then obviously creep forward. So here I think he's still looking for the right. It's hard to see. So there the left has stopped, no one on the right. And then the sat nav says ahead, follow the road ahead. So nothing on his right, so he's in the correct lane and he's making progress. Just to reiterate, all of this is a 30 miles an hour. So make sure that you are making progress through this 30 miles an hour road. 25, 26, 30, all acceptable. But if it's safe to do so, make sure that you are actually making progress. So here, there's not, much traffic going on, so he's making good progress, negotiating the bends with confidence. I mean, I'm happy with his drive so far, and I'm obviously thinking that, you know what, everything's going so well, so he should pass at the end. But as I said, keep watching, and we'll reveal the results together here. So he's just going along here. The sat nav in a minute will say turn right. Now the thing here is, as you can see, it's a dedicated right, but do not go fully in that lane because it's very narrow, and if you go fully into the path as it's suggesting, the oncoming cars cannot pass, and the examiners are happy for you to stop the traffic behind you to do that. So this is a fairly narrow road. As you go along here, a lot of the time the examiner can get you to pull up on the left when it's safe to do so. And I think that's his first pull up on the left. There he is. No, I think he's pulled up for, no, he has pulled up here. Okay, he's pulled up on a single yellow line, which is fine. He could have got a minor for it, because if it's front of a driveway, then you don't really want to pull up there. Make sure you check your mirrors, do your blind spot. Every time the examiner says for you to pull up, obviously use your MSM routine. And after that, make sure you do your POM routine. So get your car in gear, get to the biting point, do a 360 observation. If no one is coming, then give a right signal, do another blind spot, controlling your clutch, gently release the brake, or if you're using a petrol car, handbrake down, and then obviously keep your revs up on a petrol car. In this car, it's a diesel car. I still like diesel cars, so I don't like teaching in a petrol. Again, it's individual preference. I've always liked diesel car, easier to teach, easier to learn. And then if you do have to go back to a petrol, once you've got your license, it's actually an easy transition. By that time you've learned. So there was the 30 sign. So the road he's turning right, and then he's going to do a first left, is a 30 road, as he does it over here. So as we're going along here, he's checking on both sides, make sure that you've got a safe gap. And one of the things your instructor should be teaching you, he or she, is if I can walk across as a pedestrian, then I can drive across. Generally use that rule. Do not take risks, and always, if it's safe to do so, make the progress. So he's obviously going to turn left at the next road. He's already done his mirrors. Second gear on this turn is absolutely fine, and then make progress as you're going up the road. As we go up here, there is a chance of meeting other cars, so look out for gaps on the road where you can pull in. Any gap that you see you want to pull in, be the one to give way to oncoming cars, because then you are controlling the situation. The road is fairly empty, so it's quite a good road to make progress in as you go down the road. Um, Obviously, look out for any pedestrians, any cars traveling fast. Then make sure that the examiner understands whether you're going to be slowing down for that reason or not. So the examiner, this is his second pulling up on the left. So he's just asked him to pull up on the left. The examiner just got him to pull up on the left. So as I said before, make sure that when it's safe to do so, do your routine. Keep on hammering in your mind, POM routine, prepare, observe, maneuver, and make progress. Everything that you have learnt with your instructor, this is the time to show your skills. In your test, you want to be making sure that you are actually echoing the thought of your instructor in your mind. So you would constantly hear in your lesson, your instructor will tell you, check your mirrors, check your blind spot, mirror, mirror, mirror all the time. And you just want to echo that thought so that it is in your mind, constantly repeating and saying, do those mirrors, do those mirrors. Don't let a moment of your driving test go without you actually thinking about what is happening ahead. And don't be afraid. At the end of the day, this test is a testament to yourself first, that you can handle a car by yourself without anybody telling you what to do. And nowadays the roads are a very dangerous place. You have many road users, you have cyclists, you have electric cyclists, you have scooters, you have all sorts that wasn't there before, but now you really have to be always vigilant to make sure that you are aware of your surrounding, because even if you do fluke this exam and get your license, but anything wrong you do by yourself, your instructor will not be able to help you because they won't be there with you. So learn from them, take every single thing that they have told you and put it into practice. We are always told that, oh, we have to check our mirror so much. But remember, you're not checking just for yourself, you're checking to make sure that you do not miss anything. And this area, as you can see so far, there's not really that many pedestrian or cyclists because of the area. But obviously I don't know where, whoever is this watching this video, I don't know where you live. So you could be living in Clapham, in Stockwell, in Elephant Castle, anywhere in the country, and it's very busy in those areas that I've mentioned, and there will be many cyclists that will be there. So your mirrors are very, very important, and just generally for yourself. Even here on this video, as you can see, there's parked cars on the left. Anybody can just open their door, and if you are not anticipating that, everything you've done in your hazard perception, why have you done it? You've done it for this day, so that you can read the road. And as you drive more and more, you will understand how the mirrors and all the stuff that we as instructors have been telling you, it hasn't been in vain. It's been a reason. And the day you actually realize that, you will thank your instructor and say, I'm glad he actually taught or she taught me that skill, because a lot of the time you don't know when you're going to be using certain skills. So yeah, down this road, it's all a 30. There's a cyclist in front of him, so obviously he's just making progress down the road. This road, again, it's downhill, bit bendy. On the way, when he started his test, he actually went left. Now he's done a full circle and come back round. And in a minute, there's going to be, I think there is a pedestrian crossing coming up, and a few house and shops. There's the crossing, so it's a singular crossing without an island. And the examiner would have said, turn, take your next road on the left. Now, this road is very important. Even when I'm doing my mock test, quite a few people have failed here because they don't look at the road marking. So here I've said to them, at the end of the road, turn right. Make sure you look at the road marking. This student did get it right, so I was really happy that he did actually take everything I told on board. You'll see the arrow with the right arrow. Yeah, so you've got to move over to the right hand side with a right signal, and you wait for the road to clear. Some have actually failed here because they did not actually realize that it's a one-way road, and then they ended up obviously turning onto the left hand side, trying to turn right, which is a foul. Unfortunately, it's for the right reason, but it is a foul. Now remember here, if one side is clear, you can creep forward, as so long as you see that the right hand side is clear. If it isn't, then there is no harm in you waiting, but be ready to go halfway and then wait for the traffic on the left. Again, the key thing here though is only go halfway if you see that there is a potential chance coming. And if I see like there's 20 cars on the left coming and maybe the right side is clear, I'm not going to edge too much forward because no one might give me way. So, he hasn't got any fault here. He's waited patiently and it's fine. So as we're waiting here for him to turn, soon as he turns here, remember I said to you that the left-hand lane, remember what lane that is. That is a bus lane. And the biggest clue here is that if you see it and I don't know why he's done this. In a minute, the examiner said to him, at the traffic lights, turn left. And he goes to go into the bus lane. And this is his first fail. The examiner did stop him with his steering wheel. Now the examiner has to stop him there, because if he goes into that bus lane, it is a fine because there are cameras there. And then remember, the student will be liable to pay that fine, not the examiner, not the instructor. It is the student, because when the authorities say who was driving, the instructor will say it was the student driving and give his details, and therefore the fine will come to you. So that unfortunately was the first mistake he made. And I think it really did disappoint him, because prior to that, and now you can imagine he's been driving for almost 25 minutes, just under, and he hasn't done a single major fault. And now he obviously does his first major fault, and he knew that he had failed because the examiner obviously intervened. I think it was a physical intervention by stopping him with the steering wheel, because he didn't allow him to turn fully. And then what the examiner says here is turn left. Now, one of the things I have seen watching videos, and it's not an automatic means that it's a fail, but whenever a student most likely has already failed with physical intervention, they'll usually just do the reverse back in a straight line. Now, remember again, that's not exclusive. They could do another maneuver, but generally speaking, they do a straight line reverse because they have to do a maneuver, and therefore they do the straight line maneuver because it's easy to do, and it's almost like a tick box case. Now, he's doing the straight line reverse, which is absolutely fine. Make sure that you are looking all over. You are looking at your right blind spot, not going too close to the curb, or obviously you could mount the curb. And remember, just because you've got one major fault doesn't mean to say you can't get more. Yes, it's unfortunate you failed, but treat it as an experience, and obviously try and do your best, making sure that you don't get any more major faults. So the examiner is happy with this, and he tells him to make progress from here. So as we go along here, he's obviously checked his blind spot. When you are doing the straight reverse, make sure that you are looking over your left blind spot before moving off at least a couple of times. Give a signal and wait for any vehicle that is coming from there. At the end of this road, he's gonna tell him to turn right, and now they are heading back towards the test center. So he's got him to do another pulling in. in my opinion, most of this is actually killing time now. He obviously, the examiner can't come back. They have to be on the road for at least 33 to 35 minutes. Um, and so far, he's been out on the road for about 25 minutes. So at least another 10 minutes that he has to obviously use up of the time. So he gets the student to turn right here. Fairly busy road, but again, you know, it's okay the way he's doing it. Doesn't make any much errors here, and obviously progresses well here. So he's just taken the turn, just waiting to take the turn. Um, so we're still waiting here for him to look for a chance. As soon as he sees a chance, he's going to obviously progress out from here. So let's stay with him. Obviously, we can't see on the right, so we're going to presume that he's looking for a safe gap. When he finds a safe gap, he's going to take that safe gap and come out. It's coming up to time-wise 2:52. So obviously it's that time of the day where a lot more parents are out, and it's that school time. It's not the best time to take a test. I personally am not a fan of doing a test at 2:22, or 2:26, I think his exam, or 28. So he has decided to come out now, and then this leads up towards the roundabout. This is a roundabout, and it's not a mini roundabout because there's no signs. So he's turning left. There's the 30 sign. So any of you who are struggling with where the signs are, you can obviously rewind back and then freeze frame it. So at least you know this road is a 30. As he goes down here, he's going to come up to a traffic light, and he's going to be turning left at the traffic lights. Now that road that he's going to, it is a school road, and you'll see in a minute through the video, he has to do some meeting with other cars, and he does make a few errors, unfortunately. They surprisingly, he didn't actually fail for those errors, because I think the examiner just, you know, gave him a little lifeline and said, you know, that was okay. But definitely, I have seen other students easily fail for something similar to this. So as you see here, the road is very narrow. It's back to a 20. There's the sign saying a 20. And, you know, there is going to be parked cars coming out. So be careful, not just to think, oh, it's my priority, I'm going to go. So here he's going, here he almost makes a mistake. In the video I did, the examiner was like, oh, they're not parked cars. He thought they were parked cars, and he was going to go around them. But this car is waiting. Remember, it's a crossing that he's just gone through, and the highway code says you can't stop, park your car on a zigzag. So that should have been his little clue. Also, you can see the brake lights on. So don't straight away assume that they're parked. So he goes through here. You've also got the cones, and he's going to make progress. What then happens here is there is another car that he's pulled in behind to actually let another car go. But what he hasn't realized is, as you can see, this car, he pulls behind the car, and he doesn't realize that this car is actually parked. So the examiner does actually give him another lifeline here and says to him, oh, the car's parked. And before he can actually move off, this car actually decides to move from here and go onto the other side of the road. And he doesn't actually get a major for this, but it could have easily been a major. So always think about what other cars are doing, and don't just follow them, you know, just like that. Now, as he goes here, it's just, again, going back to where the test center is. He has made the right call here to give way to the car, and then he progresses through here, going round the road. And again, it's unfortunate, he does another major mistake. Again, I don't know why. It's a fairly straightforward road. We've done this many times where you know, it's an open road, so he's following the road round to the right, and you know, you should come here because it's a giveaway. I think what he does is he just looks to the left and then he literally tries to come out. Here, that's the examiner. So look at it again. The examiner literally brakes here because he was going to pull out. You'll see that car, and that's the car he didn't see. So the examiner had to intervene here. It's a very open junction. So to be honest, unfortunately, I would say there's no excuse there. He should have noticed it and should have seen, the fact that the car was coming. I think, again, as he knew that he had failed, maybe he lost heart here and just said to himself, you know what, I just want to go back to the test center. And it happens. But again, try and obviously, stay with it. You want to stay the full time, right the way until you get to the test center. Or what's going to happen is the examiner will have to terminate the exam, and the examiner will have to get back to the exam center by himself, and the instructor will have to find the car. So stay with the test, see the time through. The examiner says here to pull up on the left, which he does, and this is the end of his test. So it was a little bit of a shame, unfortunately, what happened. He should have passed, as you've seen, but it wasn't to be. So very unfortunate in terms of what happened. But yeah, I think do look at the video. There are many good things he's done, and I'm sure on his next attempt he will pass. He just very unlucky, didn't see the bus lane, and then just at the end didn't see the car coming, which was a shame. And I'm sure he will pass on the second one. So yeah, again, keep watching this video, subscribe, and support me by obviously subscribing. More videos to come, and hopefully you are enjoying. Make sure you leave a comment with the support. Making these videos ain't easy. I obviously have to talk for long periods, and there's no monetary value here. I do it to help out the students, and for you guys to learn. Thanks very much.